Welcome to the Fitness Business Podcast, brought to you by Active Management, the world's leading fitness business coaches who in 2015 will help you #grow your business. This is the world's #1 podcast for fitness business owners and managers. We interview real owners and learn what has been working for them to make them so successful. Here's the host of the Fitness Business Podcast, Chantal.
Thanks, Harper. Welcome to all our wonderful listeners, and thanks for tuning into this week's episode of the Fitness Business Podcast. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. I can tell you it has been a very busy week at podcast headquarters because I'm preparing to jet over to Hawaii for a few weeks. So I've been cramming in all my interviews to get prepared for a relaxing couple of weeks away. Now, the good news is while I'm kicking back on the beach, your weekly delivery of information does not stop. In fact, I've got heaps for you guys in the weeks ahead, and I'll give you a bit of a hint at what you can look forward to a little bit later in the show. Now, I know I'm not the only one who has a busy week because the 2015 Idea World Fitness Convention is happening in Los Angeles, California this week. Now, if you're heading to the convention, I would love to hear from you. Tell me what your best business takeaway is. Tell me who your favorite presenter is. Let me know, and we might try and get them on a future show. Have fun if you're heading over to Idea this week. Now, as it happens, in today's show, we're going to be featuring the 2014 Idea Fitness Instructor of the Year, Krista Popovich. I know that heaps of you guys will know Krista. What an incredible person she is. Not only is she a multi-award winner, she's also a lovely, down-to-earth person and an inspiration to many of us in the fitness industry. Actually, if you have a chance, I really, really highly recommend that you go and check out her acceptance speech at last year's Idea Awards. She is such a true professional, and it's clear just how passionate she is about fitness and about helping others. But on to today's interview. Let me tell you a little bit more about today's guest. So Krista is an international trainer. She's an education consultant for Kaiser and for Jump Sport. She's a TV personality, a DVD creator and talent. She's a past program director, a published author. She's a professional speaker and an Adidas 3-Stripe team sponsored. And that is just her short bio. She's got over 2 decades of experience, and in this interview, Krista shares advice and tips on insights into creating an outstanding PT and group fitness team. She talks to us about her formula for a winning group exercise experience and how to grow personal training in your club. There's actually so much great info in this interview. I really recommend that you listen in to hear when Krista gives us a really awesome way to ensure that you have the very best personal trainers in town. Enjoy. Welcome along to the show, Krista. It's great to have you here today. Now, can you start off by telling us what specific activities can we be doing to really create an outstanding personal training or group exercise team within our business?
The team aspect of creating, whether it's group fitness or personal trainers on your staff or as your contractors or whomever they are in that capacity is really my belief that we have to mentor and guide them. We get people coming in from all different walks of life. Some people have always wanted to be trainers or instructors, or they've had other careers and that they're really passionate about fitness. And, the common thread amongst everyone is that they are passionate about exercise. They're passionate about helping people. And to be able to mentor and guide them is really what I feel my responsibility is, to create that really, really great team. Giving them the support that they need so that they can be successful and more successful than I have ever been. And that's really ultimately in the long run what my goal is for them. So that's one of the things that I feel is really important from a team perspective. The other thing is providing as many learning opportunities as we can and giving them feedback. Our team, one of the things that I believe passionately that drive people is that their goal or their need to want to learn more. So if we can provide them with educational opportunities, they become more inspired, and then they are able in turn to inspire other people as well. So I know that you have Philex there, you have lots of local conferences and workshops and so forth. So having your team and supporting your team to either go there and attend these, and then, allow them to share that information with other people as well.
Okay, so one of the things, Krista, that you mentioned there was that need to not only learn and experience those type of events and stuff like that, but also give feedback. Do you want to give us some examples of what you mean in regards to that feedback for the team or for the people?
For the team?
Yeah.
Yes. If people have had bad experiences with feedback, it's unfortunate because feedback can be such a positive way. When we used to provide our team with the option to, for example, answer the question, how do you feel like you're doing in this area? Or how do you feel like you do this? I actually often found that they would give themselves worse feedback than I would actually give them in terms of what they were harder on themselves than I certainly would have been. But it's a great way to, in terms of feedback, is I'm a big believer in that it has to be a 360-degree format, allowing people to, see how they're doing, providing opportunities for myself to give them feedback, and also for them to give me in terms of how I'm doing as a manager or as a mentor on what I'm doing in terms of that as well. So it can be a very effective way for allowing people to grow and get better and to improve and to really also just connect with people. So having that opportunity, I'm a big believer also in videotaping staff, record them teaching a part of a class or record them training one-on-one and sit down together and go through that and see what are the things that they're doing fantastic and where are the areas that we can really work on, so that ultimately, in the end, it makes a better trainer and it makes a better instructor.
It's really interesting you say that, Krista, because I think in Group X, part of doing that feedback process, part of learning is the videoing. But it's interesting that you suggest that can also be done with personal training, with one-on-ones, and it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's very effective, to sit, as long as the client is comfortable with that, it have to be the whole session. But for part of the session, you see things like what's the connection between the trainer and client? How are they explaining exercises? What is the feedback that the trainer is providing the client? What are the motivational cues that they are using with that person? What is their eye contact like? Body, all of those things. Until we actually are able to sit back and watch ourselves, we can't really improve, because I can tell someone 100 times, you should work, until they actually see it, then they will actually get it. So you are correct. We do a lot with the group fitness, but we do need to also provide those opportunities for our trainers as well.
Great suggestion. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about Group X.
Okay.
What would you say that's kind of jigsaw puzzle of a Group X program? What should it look like?
Well, I see it as, 4 areas. 1, we need to, first of all, cater to members' needs, and I'll go through each of these. 2, we need to create a fitness experience each day of the week that is a little bit different. 3, we need to mix up who our instructor and our team are at those prime times and what are the choices of the classes that we're providing. And then the 4th component is really being on trend. What is trendy right now? What are people wanting to do? So first of all, catering to our members' needs. We need to listen to our members. We need to gather feedback from them. We need to have an understanding of what they're interested at in the moment. And, I always feel, if we are going to test something out or try something new in your facility, one thing I do recommend is that if you're going to test it, you really need to be willing to commit to doing it, implementing it. Yeah. So if you try this great piece of equipment, but you have no plans to buy it, then don't put it in the first place, because you'll just disappoint your members. So if you're keen, because once someone has something, it's really hard to take away. And I'm sure from a club perspective, someone who has put a piece of equipment and maybe it never gets used and you take it off the floor, all of a sudden everybody's upset that that piece of equipment is gone, even though, you don't think it gets much use. So definitely catering to our members. Second thing is creating the fitness experience each day of the week that is a little bit different. So when we're looking at a 7-day-a-week schedule or Monday through Fridays at 9 a.m., we don't want to have each of the classes the same. We want them to be different. Not everybody's going to like the same thing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So we need to ensure that if we look at how people exercise, and if it is, every second day, then we want to make sure that there's some variety within that schedule as well. The other component, the third point, is I'm a big believer in not scheduling your top instructors every single time slot at the exact, if someone wants to teach 5 days a week at 9 a.m., we don't want to schedule them 5 times a week at 9 a.m. on that schedule because what if someone doesn't like that instructor or that instructor decides that, this facility is not working for me and I'm going to go somewhere else. And now you have a huge gap to fill. Yeah. So my recommendation would be, never have an instructor teaching more than 2 classes at a prime time slot. Train someone up, train other people, but you don't want to have it just facilitated by one person. And then my last part of that jigsaw is, being on trend. What are people interested in at the moment? What has the media picked up on that you can run with at the same time? Because they have millions of dollars to market and you might have none. But if it's out there, then it's easier to pick up on that as well.
Okay, so speaking of trends, can you give us an example of, say, how a fitness facility might successfully jump on board with a trend? How do we know it's the right time?
I'll use, something maybe even from the past. If we look at things like a show like The Biggest Loser, or there's, those types of things that came out and was so popular at the time, putting together a program that has a similar name with, it's top of mind to our members. So using that as a guideline for doing that. Things like now where high intensity interval training and still that is of trend and people are still, not everybody's doing it. So there's still momentum happening around that. So I think it's important to hit the trend hard and fast. Be the first to do it if you can. Be all the time as a good manager, as a good club owner, marketing all the time, seeing what's happening in other facilities and being, the one to just jump in. You got to try it. If it doesn't work, well, at least you have tried it. And it's not jumping in blind. It's preparing, it's marketing, it's all of those components that really make a difference. But you'll, as numbers start to decrease, and if we're statistically watching things all the time, I had a great club owner that I worked for a number of years who always said numbers never lie. So you can't look out at a facility and say, oh yeah, that class looks full, or oh, that the studio looks, you have concrete numbers. How many people in that class at that time of the day? How many people on the equipment at 3:30 in the afternoon versus not, so you know your numbers all the time, and then you can make really good decisions from there. And you need to react all the time. You can't be doing the same thing and expecting a different result. We need to change it up, on a regular basis. And, when we change, it adds a new dimension into the facility where there's a new energy happening. So I'm a big believer that you need to change things up.
I love that. Don't get complacent. Yeah, keep things interesting for them. Okay, how about personal training? Let's talk about, what would you say would be, say, your top 3 ideas to grow personal training?
Personal training, well, first of all, it's all about hiring only the best. And, we can train someone to be a good trainer, but personality is going to be really key. So hire that key trainer that's out there that's going to be able to truly connect with the client, because it's all about creating top customer experiences for our clients and having exceptionally high standards. Winners attract winners. So if you have the top facility or the top training studio in your area, you're going to attract other good trainers that want to be there. You're going to have clients that are going to talk about how great it is. So we need to start by who our people are, because they really are the face of our business. They're the face of our facility. I would also really talk about marketing is everything that you do. So absolutely everything that you do. I use the scenario, if you have your personal training company name plastered on your car and you cut someone off and then flip them the bird, that's your business. So, we have to be, it's everything from how our staff answers the phone, how we greet clients, how the cleanliness of our facility, what kind of equipment we're offering. So, we're providing the value added services to our clients, because that's what is going to grow our business. We need to be marketing everything that we do at a high level and really providing those values to our clients. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's perhaps the newest, greatest equipment, but a clean facility speaks a lot, about your business. Those types of small things also make a big difference. And then I would say, third, probably expanding your niche and really capitalizing again on market trends. You have to evolve, you have to change, you need to diversify your team, you need to diversify what you're offering. So expanding what your niche market is going to be really key to having a strong business.
And I guess that last point, Krista, really goes back to some of the earlier stuff that you were talking about in relation to how important it is to either for yourself or for your team provide those learning opportunities. So attending IDEA, so attending URSA, attending FILEX, and making sure that you are aware of what those trends are, of what's happening within the industry, how you can evolve and change.
Exactly. And, and the top two things if we're talking about even our team, knowledge and learning opportunities are really important. And then on the flip side, it's not money that a staff person wants to make their, to have higher job satisfaction. It's actually, when we look at studies, it's praise and recognition. So if we are recognizing what our staff is doing, what we're praising what they're doing, if we're providing learning opportunities and recognizing and rewarding all the great things that they're doing, your staff is going to be happy. They're going to make your business better because your clients are happy as well. So it does run full circle in that sense.
Absolutely. Krista, thank you so much. In a total of 15 minutes, you've jam-packed in some really great information. So we're so grateful to have you as a guest on the Fitness Business Podcast. I love that there's always, I don't know why, technology always gives me a thrill that I'm sitting here in Sydney on a very, very cold winter's morning and I'm talking to you over in Canada in the middle of the afternoon.
In summer, and it's 27 degrees, which is degrees Celsius for us, so which is fantastic for.
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. But listen, thank you so much for your time, Krista. And as usual, we will pop all of Krista's contact details in the show notes for today's episode, and we'll share with all of our listeners some of that gold that you've just given us. So, Krista, thank you once again for your time today.
Thank you, Chantal. It's been great speaking with you.
The Fitness Business Podcast is very appreciative of our podcast partners. Here's a quick word from one of our partners.
Being the owner of a fitness business can be lonely, very lonely. You may second guess yourself on what strategic direction you need to take for growth. You may be bereft of ideas on how to grow your business. And you may enjoy the mental stimulation of chewing the fat with your peers on business development in order to create more balance in your life. But as an owner, you lack the network to meet your needs. Rex Roundtables is the most unique opportunity on the planet for you to grow your business. And here are 5 reasons you should consider joining a roundtable. Number 1, support. When you run a business, your role is to support and cheer on your team. Your fellow roundtable members are there to support, guide, and help you. They are there to listen to your successes, learn from you, and pump you up when you face challenges. Number 2, education. If you only compare your business to other fitness businesses, you only get as good as other fitness businesses. Rex's Roundtable brings valuable and relevant information to you that will differentiate your business from the competitors. Number 3, confidentiality. No competitors are allowed on the same roundtable. That means you can be open, honest, and unguarded in what you say. This is a key tenet of Roundtable and is imperative to build trust. Number 4, benchmarking. Key performance indicators are monitored that allows you to compare your business performance with other businesses. And number 5, anecdotal learning. Many members of the Roundtable say they get more learnings when sharing breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a few drinks with other members during the meeting. This powerful benefit of Roundtable cannot be underestimated, as it means you are always picking up tips, strategies, tools, and hints to strengthen your business. Rex Roundtables exist in Australia, New Zealand, Europe, and North America. If you're a club owner or personal training business owner, then you could be eligible to join a Rex Roundtable. So why not email the Australian Roundtable Chairman, Justin, who will then forward your inquiry onto the chair in your part of the world. His email address is jt@activemgmt.com.au, and all of the details are in today's show notes. On average, Rex Roundtable members make 8 times the EBITDA of their competitors. Contact Justin now on +612 9484 5501. That's +612 9484 5501.
It's time for the Fitness Business Podcast Wrap.
How good was that information from Krista Popovich? There was so much good stuff in 15 minutes. She talked about the importance of supporting a team by encouraging them to attend educational events. And I loved the info about fitness trends. Krista told us to hit the trend hard and fast. Be the first, be the one to jump in, and just give it a go. She reminded us that numbers never lie. You need to know your numbers all the time, and you need to react. You need to change things up to keep things interesting. How about if you're going to try something new in your gym facility? If you're going to give members a taste of something, then you need to be willing to commit to actually implementing it. But I reckon this last one was my favorite tip. She told us to use video feedback for our personal trainers. Videoing one of their PT sessions will show you the connection between the trainer and the client, how the trainer is explaining the exercises. You can look at the feedback that the trainer is actually providing to their client, what motivational cues they're using, and what their body language and eye contact is actually saying. I reckon that's a surefire way of building an awesome PT in your team. Now, next week, our show, we've got yet another Idea Fitness Instructor of the Year winner. It's Fred Hoffman. And with Fred next week, we are talking all things technology and social media for the fitness industry. Now, if you haven't already done it, don't forget to rate the Fitness Business Podcast on iTunes. All you need to do is go to iTunes, search for the Fitness Business Podcast under the title Ratings and Reviews. Just click there and give us a star rating and write a comment. If you've got any suggestions, comments, or feedback about the show, you know to email me at chantal@activemgmt.com.au. Or if you happen to be listening from Hawaii right now and you own a gym, a studio, or run a boot camp, hit me up on Twitter at FitBizPodcast and let me know where your business is located. I might just drop by for a workout. Until next week, what you leave behind is not what's engraved in stone monuments, but what's woven into the lives of others.
You have been listening to the world's #1 podcast called the Fitness Business Podcast, brought to you by Active Management. We are dedicated to helping your fitness business #grow in 2015. Check out www.activemgmt.com.au for resources, tools, and more to help you. And by far, the best value for you is to become a member. So join today at www.activemgmt.com.au.